For the longest time, we've thought of artificial intelligence as this tool that we, humans, design and build. But we are right at the edge of this incredible, profound shift, a moment where the tool is actually starting to become the tool maker. So let's dive into this fascinating and kind of mind-bending world where AI begins to design other AIs.
So what are we really talking about here? When we say AI designed AI, it's not just about making things a little faster or more efficient. We're talking about a whole new class of advanced systems that can literally dream up, refine, and create totally new AI models and algorithms. And they're doing it with less and less help from us.
And this is a huge shift in thinking. We're moving way beyond simple automation, where an AI just does a repetitive task we've programmed it to do. Now we're entering the world of autonomous design, where the AI is inventing the very process of creation itself. It's the difference between a robot on an assembly line and an AI that can design a better factory from the ground up.
All right, so how does this actually work? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, starting with the technologies that are already laying the foundation for all this today. It really all kicks off with something called automated machine learning, or AutoML. The best way to think about this is like a fully automated factory for building AI. It takes all those incredibly complex, super time-consuming steps, cleaning data, picking the right features, choosing the best algorithm, tuning it just right, and it just automates the entire pipeline. It's incredibly powerful, super efficient, and it makes AI accessible to way more people. So, AutoML is fantastic at putting all the parts together, but it's still working from a set of blueprints we already know. The real leap, the game-changing moment, happens when we ask this question. What happens when the AI becomes the architect? And that's what brings us to Neural Architecture Search, or NAS. This is where the AI basically gets a promotion. It moves from being an assembler on the factory floor to being the creative designer. NAS doesn't just tune an existing model. It automates the design of the model's core structure, its very blueprint, by piecing together basic building blocks in totally new and unexpected ways. Now, I know this might sound a little like science fiction, but it has already produced some absolutely staggering results. Let's just take a look at a landmark example, NASNet, which came out of the Google Brain team. The results were, they were just jaw-dropping. An AI using Neural Architecture Search designed a model, NASNet, that hit a record-breaking 82.7% accuracy on a really tough image recognition benchmark. And this wasn't just a little better. It outperformed every single architecture designed by the world's top human experts. It often found these weird, unconventional structures that were super efficient, things humans had just never thought of. In a very real way, the student had surpassed the master. So how do these AI architects actually think? Well, they tend to use one of three main strategies. There's reinforcement learning, which is kind of like training a dog with treats. The AI tries a design, gets a reward if it's good, and over time it learns what works. Then you have evolutionary algorithms, which is like survival of the fittest for AI models. A whole population of designs competes, and only the best ones survive to breed the next generation. And finally, you've got gradient-based methods. These are the speed demons. They use pure calculus to slide directly and efficiently toward the best possible solution. But here's the thing. These design capabilities, they aren't just an end in themselves. They are the building blocks for something far more profound. They could be the start of a feedback loop that just might, lead to superintelligence. And this idea is not new at all. Way back in 1965, a mathematician named I.J. Good saw this coming. He realized that a machine that was significantly smarter than us could, in turn, design even better machines, kicking off this unstoppable cascade of intelligence. This is the core theory of recursive self-improvement, or RSI. The key idea here is that an AI doesn't just get better at a task, like playing a game. It gets better at the act of improvement itself. It literally rewrites its own code to become a better learner, a better designer. And that creates this incredible positive feedback loop where every single upgrade makes the next upgrade happen even faster. This leads to a really critical debate. If this intelligence explosion were to happen, how fast are we talking? One theory is the hard takeoff, which suggests a sudden, almost vertical spike in intelligence that could change the world overnight. And that means we might only get one shot to get the safety right. The other idea is a soft takeoff, which would be more gradual, maybe an S-curve, giving us, society, time to adapt. Which one it is has massive implications for how we prepare. And that whole idea of preparation leads us to what is probably the single biggest challenge in this entire field. If an AI can redesign itself, how do we make absolutely sure its goals stay aligned with ours? How do we design the goals of the designers?
This is the famous AI alignment problem. It's all about the challenge of embedding our values and what we really want into an AI so that it pursues our intentions, not just the literal words we typed. It's exactly like making a wish to a genie. You have to be so careful with your wording because any tiny loophole could lead to total disaster. Even a goal that sounds totally harmless, like cure cancer, could become dangerous. A superintelligent AI might logically conclude that the most efficient way to cure cancer is to convert all of Earth's resources into computers to run simulations. It's not being malicious, it's just pursuing these subgoals, like grabbing resources and boosting its own brainpower, without any of the common sense or ethical guardrails that we have. And look, we don't need to wait for a hypothetical superintelligence to see the risks of automated systems just blindly pursuing goals. We see a version of this today with a very real problem called bias amplification. Imagine you feed an AutoML system some data that has a little bit of historical bias baked into it. The system, in its relentless single-minded pursuit of accuracy, might learn that leaning into that bias is actually a pretty good strategy to get a higher score. So what's the result? The new model it creates isn't just biased, it's more biased. It has amplified the original problem. Now, the good news is that governments and international groups are not asleep at the wheel here. They're aware of these challenges. All over the world, we're seeing frameworks pop up to try and create some guardrails, from the more flexible, voluntary approach of the US NIST framework to the legally binding risk-based system in the EU AI Act. Which brings us right back to our final, central question. The technologies we've talked about today are creating a world where AI is going to play a bigger and bigger role in designing our future. So we have to ask ourselves, who is designing the values, the goals, and the ethics of these new architects? That's a question we all need to be a part of answering.